Greetings, galactic ones. Just here to drop a word on you. So, I want to give you some tips during this time while we are entering a phase and lots of energy and understanding new truths and political changes, and the world is changing really fast in a way that it's impacting all of us. I want to just put this little reminder. These are things that you definitely already know. Okay, these are things you already know. I am just here to remind you of what you already know. The first thing is use the knowledge you're learning. Apply the knowledge you're learning, okay? It is hard enough, for example, to do a diet, okay? If you're used to eating a certain way and you decided you want to try a diet, it can be mentally exhausting to try mentally to do this diet. Maybe you're trying to cut all the bad things that you just love. Your body is craving them. And you're like, oh my God, I can't eat this today. I promised myself I can't do this, I can't do this. I can do this, so I'm not going to eat it, I'm not going to eat it. So you're working your mental consciousness to override your fleshly desires, okay? That is the method of the past. Okay, today there are easier ways, and not that easy is necessarily better, right? But we have a lot to change, and we have a lot to get through. We have a lot of traumas. We have a lot that one needs to be done while we exponentially heal. Pretty much we're in this space of an opportunity to galactically jump, okay? This is when neurons radically spark or jump, okay, or shift to different it's like when neurons and electrons shift to different polarities, when they're able to kind of quantum leap. That is what we're in. We're in a quantum a situation where we are collectively, the whole world, Earth itself, is able to quantum leap. Now that means exponential healing, okay? And exponential application of knowledge and changing and transformation in a flash, okay? The fastest we've ever seen it from humanity. In case you had not heard this little fact about the conjunction that we just had, Saturn and Jupiter conjunction, which just means those two planets were aligned within 1 degree in Aquarius this year, okay? Or I should say at the end of last year. Or just for me right now, it's about 2 weeks ago. Not even a full 2 weeks yet. So that just means those energies are exponential. Those are compounded. They're working together. But more so, the last time this has happened was 800 years ago. 800 years ago. So we have not had an opportunity to quantum leap in 800 years. And this time, it is in Aquarius. So it being in Aquarius, by itself, Aquarius is radical. Okay. It's ruled by Uranus, which is about spontaneity, radical changes. It's about humanity. Okay, so humanity is radically changing. So I want to help you jump. I want to help you radically jump, radically change quickly. So some tips to do that. The first major one is to apply all the information that you get. Excuse me. You can't do everything at one time, so it's okay. But that which you are drawn to, that which catches your attention, if you're learning about chakras, if you're learning about healing techniques, if you're drawn to buy certain herbs, if you're drawn to start a new regimen, if you're drawn to yoga, if you're drawn to Reiki, if you're drawn to certain things, do them. Okay? If you're drawn to crystals, learn about them. Whatever you're drawn to, grab hold of it. Okay? Learn about it. Apply it. It will help you. It's like your own avatar blinking lights in the car telling you check engine light or look at this thing over here. If you enhance this, the car will function better. The body will function better. And this will help you more quickly shift your body. Now, what else gets shifted? The brain gets shifted. And shifting the brain means the way that we think, what we think about, the consciousness level that we're thinking at. And in delving into that, the next consciousness, or as a collective, right? After being so aware of all the wrong that's been done, after being so aware now of truth, of darkness, we now are able to think above duality, to see the good and bad in things and transmute them into what we need and want them to be. So we think like this now collectively. So major changes happening is in our way of service, in our way of relationships, love, communication, the way we exchange in business, okay? So, having said all that, you have to change the way you think about money. You have to change the way you operate in your exchanges, okay? You have to have a clue of what's coming, okay? Everything is going, this is a technology age, so you have to be thinking along the lines of technology and reaching the collective. What is that? So, consciousness. So this changes the way our consciousness functions and works, and gives us the ability to, one, we're perceiving more, okay? Leaving the Pisces age, Pisces was all about subconscious, the subconscious mind. So we were kind of oblivious. It was like we were seeing what we wanted to see, what we wanted to believe in the I believe age. Now that we know better, and we know not to believe things anymore, we know not to believe what people have taught us to believe, we now know to use facts, to use what we know, to use what we see. And so we're revamping a lot of areas, and this includes the way we make money, technology, online, things like that. So I was saying that we need to be thinking in the ways of technology, thinking in ways of how can I serve humanity through technology? How can I serve the collective? How can I reach more people? How can I help heal quickly? Well, this is the types of information that people need. This is the type of information that will help heal you. This lets you know you're on the right track. This lets you know that, okay, this is what we all want and the ways that we are going, okay? Outside of just business and technology, the way we look at relationships, we have opened up the way that we are in relationships. Aquarius, when it comes to relationships, can be very standoffish to a degree. If you have that placement in any of your major sun, moon, rising, and those who are not into astrology, that's okay. The point is, this is the energy in the air. This is what the age of Aquarius is about. And so it's about being original. It's about uniqueness. And so we have unique relationship dynamics happening all over, and they're rising because we're finding what no longer serves us or works for us. But we also need to continue to take the good out of and see what was to be accomplished in the monogamous relationships, okay? And we still have to deal with that in nature in terms of it takes two to create, okay? It takes the yin and the yang, the duality, the night and the day to make creation. You know, day comes out of night. So we have that aspect that has to be brought to surface, dealt with, ridiculed, and perfected, and applauded for what in what ways that it does serve us. Okay, so yeah, that's marriage, because Aquarius is about marriage to self. Okay, and so self-care, and you know, really learning who your authenticity of self is. Okay, also Aquarius represents authenticity. Okay, on the opposition of Aquarius is Leo. Leo is about self. Leo is the ego. That's I will, having the will to do things for self, really putting yourself out there. Leo is the sun. So why is even relevant, this tangent line, is the same way that in the age of Pisces, the opposite of Pisces was Virgo. And why Pisces is the extreme of delusion is because Virgo is extreme detail, right? To the point of like destruction. So with Pisces being, I believe, to the extreme extent of just believing whatever and not questioning or looking at the details or ignoring the signs. We're coming out of the age of ignoring the signs. And so as we've learned that lesson, we have to take with us the Virgo details that we missed, in the sense that we no longer miss the details, but we're not so weighed down by the details that we don't move forward. So remember that as we move into this age, don't be so weighed down by all the information you're learning that you don't move forward because you don't know what to believe. And then don't just believe anything. Like, actually acknowledge the signs that are there, okay? Now, that by itself is a lot. It's a huge lesson for us as a collective. That's the crux of discernment, okay? Is knowing what to believe, when and how to actually move forward, even when you know what you know, or you do have the information in front of you. How do you take that information? What now? What do we do with what we know? What do we do with the knowledge that we know? Yes, we can apply it, but how, when it comes to relationships and dealing with one another, do we apply this knowledge when we see the signs? You know, we know that we can't do isolation. That's another extreme. If we're constantly moving away, we're not fixing any problems or growing. We're just getting very clear about our own energy, which is grand, which is great. But we came here to work as a collective. Aquarius is about healing humanity and coming back to the collective. So we're learning ourselves. We're learning our own energy. We're mastering ourselves. We're mastering our own energy to do what with it? To bring it back to the collective. Now, when you come back to the collective, did you master others? How could you? You were alone. So the key to this age is mastering yourself while among others, while in community, thriving in community. We have fallen as we look at the earth, the planet, and how we've functioned as a society. We're talking about now social norms. We had high numbers in homelessness, things like that. But we all knew there's better ways. We can take care of each other. We can have food should not cost. We should be able to grow food. So we have all these ideas, and we've seen that the laws and the structures that we had before are no longer serving us. So as we come together and change this, what's going to be the pinnacle key? Community and growing food. So, because nourishment is what we're doing here. We're nourishing the body. We're looking at the foods we've been eating, or the lack thereof, or what type of modified, man-made everything we've had, and we're getting back connected with nature. And in getting back connected with nature, again, we have to learn to grow food, to use our hands to apply the knowledge, right? Well, what are the problems, or what blockages or things pop up from us accomplishing that? Well, laws is the first thing. Some people have laws that they can't grow food. Some people don't even know the laws. Some people live in apartments and think they just can't grow food because they live in an apartment. You have to do the research. You have to look at where you live. You have to actually look up what the rules are, okay? Now, some you can go ask. Some would rather not ask. But no, my suggestion is to know. Go look. Do your due diligence, at least. So then you can say, hey, I looked in the articles of the homeowners association, or I looked in the rental agreement, and I didn't see anything that said I couldn't have a tomato plant outside in my balcony. Okay, so you got to do this stuff. Now, what's blockage? Now you guys I hear it. I hear y'all already. I'm not even recording this live, and I hear the things popping up that's like, yeah, but okay, so now you know you can grow the food. You don't have the time. Why? Because you're trying to just mentally figure out how to make money to survive, right? You have time physically. Like if somebody were watching you on a camera, you're not doing shit all day but being on your phone. However, your mind is occupied. Your mind is at work. Why? Because you're still tuned into the matrix. You're still caught up. Even though COVID has happened, even though you got sent home, even though you have physical time, it seems like you don't know what to do or how to apply it. You're stuck. You're stuck in your seat. You're stuck on your phone. Right? Because you're in jail. You're in a cell. You're in your cell phone. okay? And that is a part, phonics, the words in your cell, inside of your jail, is blocking you, is locking you inside, okay? So use this cell, since you're in jail, to read up, to get the knowledge and spit it back out, because the only way out is through. The only way out this season is through, okay? I call it an age, a season, whatever. It's just about a wheel, a time of energy, and this is the time and energy that we're in. And this is the time and energy that you're going to have to seriously acknowledge what you know, what is, realize where you're constantly being blocked, or where you have bots, where you have, like, the system has put up shit against you, and these are the same blockers that keep you, bad habits. We call them bad habits. What are your bad habits that society has fed you that you can't get off of? I'm definitely going to come back and do a part 2. I do want to stop this in a second. I already went past my time. But, yeah, in fact, I'm going to do that real quick.